Hey everybody, this is Perch. One of the weirder arguments, and maybe this is just because I'm a retailer, maybe because I collect comics for a long period of time, but one of the weirder arguments in comics is the idea of it's just too much to read. It's just too I can't. There's just too much, too many episodes. I get this with One Piece a lot. People are like, "Ah, it's just too much." Okay, that's fine if your argument is I don't have time to watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece. That's fine. But it's when people criticize it for having too much. So I'm drawing an important distinction here. That's really important before we go on with this whole video that you understand my point. Because I think some people argue kind of with me using the wrong point. If you don't have enough time, if you are not interested in 1,000 episodes, because that's a big, that's a big take. If you're not interested in reading every issue of the X-Men because it's just too much time, totally get it. But if you're going to complain about it having too much time to begin with, if you're going to complain that there's just too much, and this is a common complaint, it's like, well, this comic series has over 100 issues. I mean, that's just too much. What the fuck are you talking about? It's just say I don't want to read it, which is fine, which we can all accept. But the idea, and you see this with shows, you see this with comics, it's this idea of, well, there's just too much material. There's just too much good material. A lot of people complain about anime. It's like there's just too many. Like there's like 1,000. There's 1,000 chapters in this. Yeah, yeah, and that's a plus. Now it may not be for you. It may not be something you want to dive into. It may not be, your what you want to spend your time on. Totally understand. No problem. Nobody is. This is always kind of one of the weirder things about comics and movies and everything. People act like there's people from Hollywood who are holding you down and forcing you to watch their shows and their movies. A lot of this complaints about both on the right wing and the left wing with content of, these woke shows that people are forcing us to watch. Who is this person forcing you to watch it? Like, is somebody coming over to your house, tying you down and making you watch this stuff? No, what are you talking about? But the same thing the other way. It's like when the people are getting all frustrated with the Punisher. It's like this is gonna, we don't want to have to see something that's related to the Proud Boys. It's like, buddy, you can just not watch it. You cannot read it. It's actually, comics, because the distribution is so screwed up and terrible. Like it is really easy to avoid this stuff. Like it is harder to find it than not. This idea that, that somebody is running in and throwing copies of the Punisher in our face, and we're having to look at the skull on the chest, and there's a guy somewhere in Oregon in a pickup truck who has this on his truck, and he is a racist. I like, what are you? This is the weirdest argument. Some of you will be like, Perch is talking about a straw man here. I'm not. Go check out, what people say on social media, what people are saying on, other YouTube channels, Blue Sky, whatever it happens to be. There's this pervasive attitude of I'm being forced to read something, which is coupled by there's just too much of it. It's just too hard. And it always feels like somebody telling on themselves for how dumb they are in a sense. It's like, this book is too long. There's a guy, back long ago when I was in school, it'd be like, I don't read books more than 100 pages. It's like, I think you're telling me you can't read. I think that's what you're telling me. But anyway, again, my point here is if you don't have time to watch the entire library of One Piece, or the characters don't appeal to you, it's like I look at that and I'm like, nope, it looks kind of cartoonish, babyish. I don't like pirates, whatever your argument is. Totally cool. That's a legitimate argument because that's your opinion of what you want to consume. No problem. But if your argument becomes there's too much of it, there needs to be less. What do you mean? And then when this argument gets echoed, and it does, by people who work in comics, it's like and it always feels like a backhanded justification for why we're relaunching something for the 18th time. It's like, it's just people are going to see that number 40 on the cover, and it's just they're going to be like, oh, I don't know, I can't get into this. No, thank you. Nope. I'm sorry, but actually, no. Consumers don't think that way. It is a gift The problem with things that are highly numbered or the things that have lots and lots of episodes is people want to know, hey, where do I start? This feel like where am I like, especially if they're new to comics and they learn it's been relaunched 18 times and they're like, which number one is the real number one? I learned counting and now I'm confused. Like that I'm convinced, by the way, this is one of the reasons why manga did take hold in the US and why it was successful, even though it had, hundreds of episodes. If you remember, Viz, shit, I can some of the early, people, like Tenchi did this. There were all these, movies and OVAs and just kind of, off cycle shows, but they numbered them. They, like, fit them weirdly into the continuity, and sometimes it wouldn't make sense because these movies were sometimes out of continuity, that's just how they rolled, but they'd still call it, like, "This is number 5." You watch 1 through 4, and then you go to 5. And this sounds really simple, but for people who are coming into this space new, it helped. It made sense. It was, "Okay, I know that I was on number 1, and then I went to number 2, and number 3, and number 4, number 5," and it's easy. The challenge people have when something is highly numbered is purely where do I start? It is not, "Oh my god, there's 500 episodes and I just that's too much for me. I'm just not gonna get into it." Very, very few people actually have that mentality. The only people who are throwing that kind of stuff out are people who are, at best, highly, highly disingenuous and just looking for something to bitch about. But you get this, it feels just like, I wanna complain about something, so I'm gonna fish around until I find the thing to complain about. But too much content. Like if you love Game of Thrones, good news. You have got a lot of shows and you have a lot of books, but not the last book because the guy is slowly eating himself to death rather than writing. You do have material. If you like the X-Men, you have decades worth of material. If you like One Piece, you have decades of your life worth of material. This is a good thing. There's this myth that it gets perpetuated that people are walking around going, if something's too complicated, I'm just too dumb. I can't get into it. It's a feature. It's not a flaw. And I think that it frustrates me because it would be something that would show up in the store, it'd be something that would show up where people would be like, "Well, I just can't get into it. I just there's just too much." I think I'd like the characters, I like the writer, I like the artist, I like the premise, I like the setting, I like everything about it, but it's just, I'm not gonna read 50 issues. I mean, come on. How many times did this happen? Never seriously. The only times I would hear this in the shop is it would was somebody who would be bitching about something else. It'd be somebody who hates Marvel, and they like indie comics, and they're fishing around for why they want to push their indie comics. They're like, "Well, I don't like things that just go on forever." I was like, "Okay, cool. You don't have to read it." Again, Stan Lee, when he was alive, is not gonna come over your house, tie you down, and be like, "Guess what, true believer? You're gonna read every issue of this Fantastic Four, you dick." He wouldn't do that. Jack Kirby might. He actually had probably the strength and willpower to actually do that. But no, nobody is forcing you to read anything. You should be happy if there's so much in a run that people put so much effort into it that you could legitimately entertain yourself for years with something you love. That's a plus. You don't have to sit down in one reading and read 1,000 issues without going to the bathroom. Just stop making it stupid. Enjoy the fact that there are lots and lots and lots of something that you enjoy. And if you don't like it, if it's not for you, don't read it. But don't sit there and then throw rocks going, "Well, the reason I'm not reading it is because it's just too much. I can't read that much. That's just too much." Fuck off. Again, you're telling on yourself that you just don't like to read at that point. Just it's there's lots of problems in movies, there's lots of problems in comics, there's lots of good things about movies and comics and all these other things. There's goods and bads there. But one thing that is definitely not a bad is when there's too much of something. That is not bad. If somebody is burning it down, they're putting out too much content and the content doesn't have good quality. Okay, the problem is the quality. It's not the volume. Now, maybe the volume led to bad quality, fine, but the quality is the issue that you're going to hate it. The volume is not. I guess I'm making 2 points at once here. Volume is good. 2, um, you don't have to read this stuff. You just don't. You're under no moral obligation. People are, like, acting like, "I made a sacred vow to review every single movie that came out and judge it accordingly." No, nobody that's not a thing. That's not a job, and that's not a thing. Just relax. It'll be fine. Thanks for listening. How much money do you think that your husband should have to pay for the wedding or for your ring?
$100.
$100?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's reasonable.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. $100 is perfect.
Are you calling me cheap?
No, I'm not at all.
Then I hope he spends $100 million on my ring and wedding.
No, that would be stupid. Why? So think about this for a second. If you're trying to have a life, with your husband, do you want to be in debt immediately?
No, probably like $500 on the ring.
$500 on the ring.
Not like a decent ring, just not like one of those plastic party rings.
Okay, you don't want a plastic party ring. I think that's fair.
And then like $1,000 on the wedding.
$1,000 for the wedding.
And I'll have
a $500 ring.
And I'll have a huge banner outside my big mansion saying, donate to me because I'm so poor. I need money to help fund my wedding.
Do you think that people are going to see you in a giant mansion and think, yeah, this is somebody I want to donate toward?
Yes.
Why?
I'll be the president.
Oh, you're going to be the president?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be the president, and you want to have a $1,000 wedding and a $500 ring. And if your husband, you want him intelligent first and handsome second.
Yeah.
But if he's too poor, he has to go get a new job.
Yeah.
To support you, the president.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody will want to marry me because I'll be the first girl president.
You'll be the first girl president?
Yeah.
You're not eligible to be the president for a while. So you're basically saying the Trump family is going to continue to defeat all the women until it's your turn to be president?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.